Picture this. The year is 2007. Maybe you were in your 20s at this point, or in college or high school, or maybe you were even just in elementary school at this point, or maybe you were just 3 years old at this point. Kind of how I was. Regardless of where you were at in 2007, Dirk Nowitzki was in a very controversial position during this time. Dirk, just the year prior, had made an incredible NBA Finals run, proving that he could perform at the highest level in the postseason. He followed this up with a historic 2007 regular season, finishing with the 9th best record in NBA history, only to be eliminated by the 8 seed We Believe Warriors in the first round, losing 4-2, an all-time humiliating defeat. And what made it even worse is that Dirk Nowitzki had to accept his 2007 MVP right after becoming the 4th 1 seed in NBA history at the time, to lose to an 8 seed in the first round. This was a very awkward day for German Jesus, but this was only a stepping stone in the path for the Dallas Mavericks of how they completely flipped the script and accomplished one of the greatest playoff runs of all time. – 2006 was a very special season for the Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki. The previous 5 seasons, despite the Mavs putting up some incredible regular season records, it ended in the same way every time. A great regular season and an early postseason exit, it felt like clockwork for Dallas, except the Mavericks finally got over the Western Conference hump in the 2006 season, getting revenge on the Phoenix Suns, who they lost to the previous postseason. Dirk Nowitzki put up a career-high 26.6 points a game in 2006. Jason Terry took a noticeable leap from last year, and Dallas upgraded their coaching from Don Nelson to Avery Johnson. The Mavs even got a 2-0 lead in the 2006 NBA Finals, until the Flash spoiled the party.
And again, his perimeter shooting so huge for this club. Wade with the drive. Mike, I think you'll go in favor of basketball. Wade again to the basket. At least right now. Pat Riley just loves the tempo of this game. Wade again. Wade. NBA champion.
Dwayne Wade absolutely lit up the Dallas Mavericks, averaging 35, 7, 3, and nearly 3 steals a game, winning 4 straight games to close the series out in 6. What was supposed to be the Mavericks' breakout season to win their very first NBA championship ended in a complete disappointment. The 2007 Dallas Mavericks were out for vengeance after their heartbreaking defeat in the NBA Finals the year previous. The Mavs in 07 finished with a commanding 67-15 record, the 9th best in NBA history. Despite Dallas starting the season 0-4, they turned it around with an unreal 52-4 regular season run. Dirk Nowitzki won his very first MVP, averaging 24.6 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists, while becoming the 5th player at the time to record a 50-40-90 season. The Mavs were rolling in 2007, with supporting cast pieces like Josh Howard, Jason Terry, Devin Harris, Jerry Stackhouse, and Eric Dampier all having good seasons, but the NBA playoffs would really determine how solid this roster actually was. The number 1 seeded Mavericks' first round opponents were the 8 seeded Golden State Warriors, but this wasn't any normal 1 versus 8 beatdown. The Warriors barely made the playoffs in 2007 with a 42-40 record, but their win count was deceiving. Midway through the season, they made a crucial trade to get Al Harrington and Steven Jackson. The Warriors had also beaten the Mavericks in each of their 3 regular season matchups that season. This playoff series was going to be interesting. Game 1 started with a road win from the Warriors in Dallas, 97-85. Star point guard Baron Davis lit up the Mavs with 33 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Dirk Nowitzki didn't quite have that type of game. Dallas was able to tie up this series at home 1-1, but this was supposed to be the easy part in the series. Now they're off to Golden State to fight an uphill battle. In games 3 and 4 at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, the Dubs took a commanding 3-1 lead with a 109-91 win in game 3 and a 30-point performance from Jason Richardson. In game 4, the Dubs won in a nail-biter 103-99 with yet another 30-piece from Baron Davis. In game 5 at American Airlines Center, Dirk finally remembered how to play basketball, where the Mavs won this game 118-112. But unfortunately, this was the last time Dirk would play at Dallas this season. Game 6, and it wasn't even close, with a 111-86 victory. And in the most embarrassing fashion ever, Dirk Nowitzki had to claim the 2007 MVP award.
To introduce to you and to present the 2006-2007 NBA Most Valuable Player Award
to Dirk Nowitzki. Come on up.
The Mavericks had a noticeable drop in performance from the previous regular season. Dallas went from the clear #1 seed in 2007 to barely even making the playoffs in 2008. The energy just wasn't the same with the Mavericks. Dirk couldn't quite replicate the same numbers and efficiency from last year. Same story with the supporting cast. Other teams around the West had also gotten better. However, at the trade deadline, the Mavs traded with the New Jersey Nets and received point guard Jason Kidd, who would hopefully provide veteran leadership for the shaky roster. Dallas, who clinched the 7th seed, were set to play against the 2-seeded New Orleans Hornets, and this series was not really friendly for the Mavericks. The Hornets got out to a quick 2-0 lead at home. Chris Paul was flat out unstoppable, dropping back-to-back 30-point and 10-assist games. In Game 3, Dallas secured a win at home, but this small glimpse of hope was crushed by back-to-back wins from the Hornets. And just like that, the Mavericks found themselves out of the postseason before round 2 once again. The 2008-9 season for the Mavericks saw a shift in energy and passion. While the record didn't really show it, only improving one game from the prior season, the team looked way more cohesive, competent, and competitive in a tough Western Conference. Dallas fired Coach Avery Johnson and got Coach Rick Carlisle. Jason Kidd clearly looked more comfortable in the Mavericks roster. Dallas finished with the 6th seed in the West and were set to play against the 3-seeded San Antonio Spurs. And for the first time, the Mavericks were actually on the good side of an upset. The Mavericks shocked everyone and beat their arch rival, the San Antonio Spurs. Dirk looked way more comfortable on the big stage, averaging 19 and 8 on 49% shooting. Guys like Josh Howard and Jason Terry both had good series. This uphill win for Dallas was a much-needed confidence boost for the squad. It was off to play Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets next. Despite Dirk Nowitzki having the series of his life, averaging 34, 11, and 4 on 53% shooting, this series wasn't really close at all. Melo and the Nuggets completely lit up the Mavericks. Anthony averaged 36 and 3 and 2.2 steals a game on 49% shooting. It was back to the drawing boards for Dallas. The Mavs in the 2010 season looked to be an improved team. The all-star duo of Jason Kidd and Dirk Nowitzki looked great. The Mavs traded for key pieces of Caron Butler and Shawn Marion. Dallas improved to a 55-27 record, clinching them the 2 seed in the West, only behind the reigning champs of the LA Lakers. Their first round matchup was against the Spurs once again, another chance for Dallas to stop their divisional rivals. But this time it was quite the opposite. Would you really be surprised if I told you the Dallas Mavericks choked yet another great regular season? Well, I hope not. The 7th-seeded San Antonio Spurs completely ran through the 2-seeded Mavericks, Dallas losing in 6 games. Manu Ginobili looked unguardable out there, and just like that, Dallas got to watch the rest of the postseason in Cancun once again. At this point for the Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki, they had built up a reputation in the NBA, and not one to be proud of. The Mavs were pretty much the laughingstock of the NBA, known as the professional choke artists of the league. Something had to change for Dallas, and the rest of the league wasn't going to like it. The Dallas Mavericks once again finished with a very strong 57-25 record, clinching the 2 seed in the West. Everything seemed to be flowing for them. They picked up Tyson Chandler from the Bobcats during the offseason, adding rim protection and rebounding around Dirk. The Mavs were also by far the deepest team in the league at this point, with key players like Jason Terry, Caron Butler, Sean Marion, JJ Barea, Peja Stojakovic, and Deshaun Stevenson. Dallas was dominating the regular season, but we've seen this story way too much to not know the ending. Unfortunately for the rest of the league, Dirk was getting a bit tired of this tale. The Dallas Mavericks' first-round matchup in 2011 was against the gritty Portland Trail Blazers, led by their young and upcoming star big man LaMarcus Aldridge. The Mavs got off to an early 2-0 lead in the series, winning both home games. Dirk Nowitzki had back-to-back 28-plus point nights to secure the lead, but the Blazers didn't just give up. They won a crucial Game 3 at the Rose Garden Arena in Portland to make the series 2-1. In Game number 4, Dallas was completely running away with this contest. The Mavericks got out to as much as an 18-point lead at the end of the fourth quarter, but Brandon Roy had other plans.
He's got to keep that big. Roy, right to the rim. For years with this guy with the ball in his hands, and he delivered many times. With the left. Up by Chandler. Wallace. Here's Roy. It's a two. It's good. Yeah, after checking the video. Roy for the lead. 84-82. Remember, no timeouts. Here's Terry.
The Trailblazers came back from a deficit and won 82-84. Brandon Roy lit up the Mavericks, scoring 18 points in the fourth quarter. The series was now tied 2-2, and Dirk Nowitzki was at the risk of choking yet another great regular season. Backs to the wall, and Dirk Nowitzki delivered, with 2 clutch performances to secure the Mavs a series win. But their next series would be the biggest challenge this roster had faced the entire season. The back-to-back NBA champs were in town, Kobe and Pau. In Game 1, the Mavericks got off to a terrible start. While Dirk wasn't necessarily playing bad, the rest of the team was, getting out to a 16-point deficit in the third quarter. However, this wasn't sitting right for the Mavericks.
5 left and 4 to go. Looks like a similar script, but here comes Tyson Chandler. Down to a 1-possession game, still a 1-possession game. Sean Marion inside, 94-91. Dirk Nowitzki. He's a mismatch for anybody. He cuts the Nowitzki. With Dallas down by 1, Dirk made 2 free throws. Then on the ensuing inbound,
the Dallas Mavericks came back and won Game 1 in a nail-biter, 96-94. Dirk had a huge 28-point and 14-rebound performance, and this momentum seemed to carry throughout the series. Dallas secured yet another home win in Game 2. They won in Game 3 with a nuclear 23-pointers made the entire game. And in Game 4, they completely shocked the basketball world with a near 40-point blowout and a 30-piece from Jason Terry. But the Western Conference gauntlet wasn't over quite yet. The Mavericks couldn't catch a break after beating the reigning NBA champs. KD, Westbrook, and Harden were in town. And just like Dallas, they also had momentum after beating 2 really solid teams in the Carmelo Anthony Nuggets and Rudy Gay and Zach Randolph Grizzlies. The Thunder were no easy task. However, Dirk didn't care about any of this, dropping one of the greatest playoff games of his entire life.
Nowitzki. It's good.
He's one of the most unique offensive weapons to ever play this game. The best jump shooting 7-footer of all time. You can't guard this guy.
Nowitzki cutting to the basket. And a foul.
I don't care.
Dirk Nowitzki dropped an unreal 48 points to secure a Game 1 win, along with shooting 12 of 15 from the field and a perfect 24 of 24 from the free throw line. However, OKC came back with their own win in Dallas, tying up the series 1-1. Now it's time to play in OKC. The Mavericks secured a Game 3 victory in a nail-biter 93-87 victory, but once again the Thunder responded. In Game 4, OKC was firing on all cylinders. KD and Westbrook were hitting countless tough shots, earning them a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, but Dallas didn't like the sound of the series tied 2-2. They had their own plans.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Pulls up. Puts it in for the Thunder tonight. Nowitzki right back with a 3. 2 misses right there. Nowitzki on the drive. Nice take. Puts it in.
The Mavericks, despite being down 15 points with only 5 minutes left, made a historic comeback and secured an overtime win. In Game 5, Dallas secured the series with a 100-96 win and a 26-point game from Shawn Marion. But the Mavericks' gauntlet of facing juggernauts wasn't over quite yet. If the Mavericks' playoff run couldn't get any harder, facing a solid Trailblazers squad, the back-to-back reigning champs, and the baby Big Three in OKC, the Mavericks had to face Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron motherfucking James. The Miami Heat entered the 2011 NBA Finals as the runaway favorites from the majority of NBA analysts. Dirk and the Mavs just didn't have the firepower to match Miami. They were just gonna choke again, right? In Game 1, it looked like the analysts did their homework though. The Heat held the Mavericks to an awful 37% shooting, while LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh combined for 65 points to propel Miami to a 1-0 lead. In Game 2, the Mavs once again didn't get off to a good start. The Heat clearly looked like the better team, and Dwayne Wade looked completely unstoppable. The Heat eventually got out to an 88-73 lead with 7 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, but Dirk was having none of this.
Back up to Kidd, wide open for three, knocks it down. And tonight, Terry the drive, Terry the pull-up, it's good. Nowitzki layup, we're tied at 90. Up in the arc and down to Dirk. He's open for three, on the way. Good! It's good!
And just like that, Dirk and the Mavs accomplished one of the greatest comebacks in NBA Finals history. Dallas tied the series up 1-1. In Game 3, the Miami Heat looked pissed off. Dwayne Wade and LeBron both erupted for 8 points in the first quarter. They looked unstoppable at first. The Heat got out to as much as a 15-point lead. Well, that's until Dirk Nowitzki woke up and made sure the game stayed close. This game was neck and neck for the majority of the time, which led to a chance for Dirk Nowitzki to seal the game and give Dallas a 2-1 lead.
Against Haslam, on the move, spins left, steps back from 18, hits the heel of the rim, it bounces away.
No good. Despite Dirk Nowitzki dropping 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks, it wasn't enough. Miami takes a 2-1 lead. In Game 4, the Dallas Mavericks got some really awful news. Dirk Nowitzki was sick with a 101-degree fever, but he decided to play through it, and you could tell he wasn't himself, only scoring 21 points on 6 of 19 shooting. But luckily for Nowitzki, his teammates came to play. Jason Terry, Tyson Chandler, Shawn Marion, and Deshaun Stevenson all scored 10 points or more on relatively good efficiency. This game wasn't even supposed to be close, but thanks to the Mavericks role players, and thanks to LeBron having 8 points and 4 turnovers this game, looking completely out of it, we once again have ourselves in another nail-biter. The Heat are down 3 with seconds left on the clock, and they have a chance to tie up the game.
Still looking, Chandler all over, got the weight, it's off his hands, into the backcourt, got it to Miller, and he'll fire it up to the right sideline for 3, it's no good, the game is over, and this series is tied at 2 games apiece.
D-Wade and LeBron were both caught making fun of Dirk's sickness. They didn't buy it.
The fake coughing. Did he see it?
We all saw it. Livid. There were 2 things that pissed us off in that series. Was if you go back to Game 2, they're up 15 with like 5 minutes to play. D-Wade scores right in front of our bench. And him and Braun shoot like a little mini rap video. They all in the camera, They are cutting up all in front of us. We didn't like that.
Yeah.
And the second thing that we really didn't like in that series was Dirk was really sick and they thought it was playtime. And remember Braun, D-Wade,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sick, dog.
Yeah.
Everyone on our team, we dialed it. We are so dialed.
Here's Kidd, a steal off a 50 pass, on the way, lays it in with the left hand to the left side. Chandler throws it down to Dirk, on the move, spinning left, got the step, left hand layup, good over ball. From downtown, baseline down, Barry, wrap around feed to Kidd, straight away 3, good.
Games I have ever seen.
Nowitzki, quick move, and the finish.
Dirk dropped 29 points on 9 of 18 shooting and 10 of 10 from the charity stripe to give the Mavericks a Game 5 win. And it wasn't just Dirk though. Both JJ Barea and Jason Terry had huge games that propelled Dallas to a Game 5 victory. The Mavs take a 3-2 lead. The Mavs had a chance to take Game 6 and claim their very first ever NBA championship, but you could tell someone was nervous. Dirk only had 3 points in the first half on 1 of 12 shooting. It was bad. LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh were all showing out in the first half, but that all changed. The Mavericks eventually closed out this hard-fought Game 6. Dirk turned it around in the second half, scoring 18 points on 8 of 15 shooting. Jason Terry was phenomenal all game, scoring 27 points on 68% shooting. And LeBron once again was nowhere to be found in the fourth quarter. And just like that, the Mavericks claimed their first ever championship.
For the first time in franchise history, the Dallas Mavericks have won the NBA championship. And the MVP of this series, Dirk Nowitzki.